So next match we got here is Bullet Club Gold, which is the Guns, Austin Gunn and Colton Gunn with Jay White. No more scissoring. So that's good news for Jack. No more of the Bang Bang Scissor Gang. It's just the Bullet Club Gold. Yep. And going up against Monster Sauce, which is Lance Archer, Alex Zane, and Minoru Suzuki. I was surprised Suzuki was there. I'm like, well, how was he not signed to AEW? Because he cameos with them for so many times. Just make him all elite at this point, you know? But
Nah. He's a free agent, apparently. Suzuki's a free agent, apparently.
I know.
He wants to just kind of work on the indies.
He appears so much. If it was like maybe once a year or something, or maybe every Forbidden Door or something, it makes sense. But he's in there so often. But anyways, yeah, it's a pretty good match. It was pretty intense, mostly because of Suzuki. I like the people trying to do chops on him and him just laughing it off. Like, are you kidding? It's kind of like the whole like do you not know who I am? I'm the Juggernaut, bitch. You know, like that kind of thing. Like, you trying to do chops on Suzuki and everything. So that's the part I remember the most. You know, but yeah, in the end, the Guns won. They retained their titles and all that. But like I said, I'm sure that Jack is better news that no more scissoring, no more scissor gang, no more, you know, that kind of stuff. I know that Jay White's not exactly in the best position with the company, but I'm sure you're happy that at least he's not forced to work alongside those clowns.
Yeah. I would rather him just if it were me, if I were Jay, I would just stick with the Guns, stay in Ring of Honor. Like, don't even go on AEW at all. Just stay away from AEW completely. But obviously, based off of the ending, the stupid scissor fucks won't let it go.
Oh, yeah.
Hey. I'm like, but the thing of it is, it's hilarious to me because Jay White solo has more charisma than 90% of AEW's roster.
Yeah, but
he can literally just go. He can literally just go on the mic and be like, "Look, I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna fuck you up, and that's what's gonna happen. All right? Okay, good. Bye. All right." And then like they were like, "Hey, wait a minute. I need a week to write up a shitty rap." What's happening in the news? Let's get TMZ on here. But no, honestly, the match itself, I liked it. I had fun with it. Really shocked. Is Alex Zane signed to Ring of Honor?
Maybe. I'm not sure. I'll have to look that up.
I mean, because I know Archer's AEW, Suzuki's a free agent. I could have sworn Zane was signed as Strong. I thought he would. So it did feel like it was weird because it was like a big New Japan versus Bullet Club.
He's still a free agent. He's not officially all elite or all honor or whatever.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. All right. But I did like seeing the match. It was fun. Austin and Colton have gotten better than the last time I saw them. Jay, I mean, you guys know how much I love Jay. Lance, it's kind of like, it's kind of a waste. He's there to me. I wish Alex Zane could have done more because he is a great high flyer if he's used properly. And Suzuki, of course, I love Suzuki. But
I love how people were chanting "Murder Grandpa" in the crowd.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
That they missed an opportunity to call the group Monster Grandpa Sauce. Oh, that sounds bad. Never mind. Instead, oh God, take it back. I take it back. But no, I will say when we were talking earlier about what should have started the show, this match should have started the show. Have the Bang Bang Gang do an open challenge. That should have started the show. I think this would have been a better opener for the show going forward. Because, I mean, they do have the mainstream appeal of AEW and, you know, the Ring of Honor crowd, and they are the champions. So it kind of would, okay, that's a great blend. I was just thinking about that when the match was going on. But overall, solid match, no complaints, just, you know, decent match. Glad they're still the champs. And That's pretty much all I got to say. Your thoughts, Ninja?
Yeah, I agree with you. Overall, it was a decent match. I don't know. I kind of feel like Jay White might be in the wrong place. If anything, like plot-wise, it should have added like one other person and let Jay White be with Lance Archer and Alexander Minoru Suzuki. I think that would have been a bit more fitting. I'm glad that they're keeping Jay White from all the scissor gang nonsense and all that craziness. If anything, I do agree with Jack. They should just switch his contract so he's primarily Ring of Honor. Just keep him out of AEW and all their bullshit. Or if they do have to put him in AEW, I hate to say it, put him in Don Callis' group, because apparently he's got the best wrestlers out of the entire New Japan camp. And Jay White deserves that kind of praise, even though it's under Don Callis' management. I never thought I'd find myself saying that. But yeah, put him somewhere like that. Otherwise, keep him the hell out of AEW. But otherwise, this was a really good match. I'm surprised that they actually beat Monster Sauce with, the Grandpa Killer. That really surprised me. But overall, yeah, still a good match. Can't complain.
I remember just having a good laugh at the chops, man, because you know how I am with the chops, right? But when I was looking at with Suzuki taking those chops, man, I was like, I'm sorry, I just thought it was funny. It's like, what are these little wimpy hits? Come on, I can take it. Hit me harder. I loved it. Now, but the match itself was pretty cool, even though in all honesty, I remember liking the match, but I cannot recall what I liked about the match. Like going back to the Billy Starks one with Queen Aminata, with Jack was pointing out, I think my problem was from a storytelling perspective, I liked it, but I wasn't really focusing on the ring work, and I was more focused on the story part of that. So that's, yeah. But anyway, that's neither here or there. But anyway, for this match, I wish I could remember more about it aside from the fact that I liked it. So I have to turn it over to Johnny.
Okay, so honestly, I hate to say it, but I really don't remember the match at all, to be honest. I just know that Jay White just seemed very out of place. Like, I don't know what it is. It's just like, maybe Jay White just needs to be solo. Like, don't even get involved with nobody. Just do his own thing, Because I feel like everybody is outshining Jay White, and he's just like there in the middle. You know what I mean? Like, it just feels like, I don't know, like they're not really doing anything good about him storyline wise.
Yeah.
He's essentially on autopilot. He's basically on autopilot pretty much right now.
But honestly, the match itself, I hate to say it, but I really don't remember it at all.
Oh, going back to something that I do remember a little something about the match, but it's just more of an observation. And it was something with Jay White. I do remember saying it's a shame they can't use Jay White properly. I think I said something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so which is kind of bad when you think about it, if that's the main thing you can remember about a match, that it was okay, it was nice to watch, but that's the main takeaway you got from it. I feel.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is I was right about them ruining Jay White's career in AEW.
Oh yeah. I mean, just based on the what what you and Panda and you guys were just telling me about Jay White and his past and his abilities, because he's pretty cool in the ring. I do like that, but yeah, just like he shouldn't have lost. He should have beat MJF.
Now look, I'm not saying they're screwing Jay White harder than a rapper at P. Diddy's house or anything, but I mean,
taking out of Swerve's book. You taking out of Swerve's book now. Oh man, I've already said what I could say about Jay. I love Jay. I'm a ride or die for Jay. He's I think Johnny was on the money. I think the truth of it is he is mentally checked out, and it's obvious from him just like
He
doesn't care anymore because, yeah, he's at that point where he's like, what do I care anymore? And honestly, I can really see Hunter just like waiting for the bell to ring, he's like looking at the timer. It's like, okay. And now. And honestly, more for him. I think he should go. Honestly, I think he should go there. There's also a couple people I think should go to this product and add more flair to it. But that's neither here nor there. I'll get to that later. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, so no real points here because no one really went for. I mean, this match wasn't announced. It was like a random open challenge, I think. So there was no way for any of us to predict it. You know what I mean? So no.
Yeah,
points for
I remember. I was like, wait a minute, they were on the card. I said, nope, they just showed up. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now I do want to say though that when they were doing the open challenge, I was glad that at least it was someone else. I was like, oh, it's gonna be a fucking Acclaimed or whatever, gang in their face. I'm glad that it was, so anyone else but them, even though it did appear near the end, but whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So next match we had here is the one match that was kind of weird and whatever. Is Dalton Castle going up against Johnny TV with Taya Valkyrie in the background. So fight without dishonor. I mean, a fight without honor. And one of the bigger things about it is a lot of the storyline. Oh, you're gonna go there?
Can I go first with this one?
Your thoughts or the plot of it first?
No, you do the plot. I want to get my thoughts. I'm gonna get my thoughts on this one.
Okay. So they had a rivalry for a while, but then the main thing is that during one of the matches, I guess they gained custody of the boys or something. So Dalton Castle lost the boys. But the stupid thing is, so this is not like a big, I guess, either a payback match or maybe it was originally meant to be a match to get the boys back or something. But due to Tony Khan releasing the boys, which with him there was some interview where you saw like yeah, I got nothing against them, they're very good, blah 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 blah. They're welcome back anytime. It's like, well, how about now, bitch? But that was the thing. So I was telling, I forgot if it was just to Jupes or all you guys in general, but I was saying, like, can you imagine a big match that, like, let's say Hogan was getting a little too friendly with Miss Elizabeth, and Macho Man not be liking that. So then building it up to like a big pay-per-view, Macho Man, Hogan, whoever wins gets Elizabeth got fired somewhere between the match starting or whatever. So
yeah. That's exactly what happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now that we got there, what were your thoughts on the match?
That's where I was about to go with that one. I mean, I'm just pissed off that the boys got released for the dumbest reason because they couldn't make it to their because of the travel arrangements that they probably screwed up themselves. I'm just that's just how I feel, and I like Dalton Castle. Dalton Castle with the boys, it's part of the gimmick. It works. Tony Khan himself said that Dalton Castle's gimmick is a good gimmick. Why get rid of the boys if they are part of the storyline?
I mean,
That is so dumb.
right off the bat before the match even starts, the first thing you hear is "boys" as part of the theme song.
It's part of it's part of Central, and it's just the match was fine, but the problem is that
don't lie. Don't lie, it was terrible.
The match, all right, but no. But here's my problem: the fact that the stuff with the boys overshadowed the match for me is my problem. I don't remember much about the match except for the fact that the boys weren't there. And, oh my gosh, wait a minute, I take it back. I do remember the part where he did call it all those boys, and it was.
Oh, you mean all the boys he got for?
It was like the Royal Rumble entrance.
Where are my boys? It's okay. We got some off Temu. We're good.
But it was
We're good.
Big boy, there was a big fat boy, there was all these random boys.
There was a fat boy, there was cartwheel boy, there was skinny boy, there was scrawny boy, there was dreadlock boy, there was
hell, I think even Soldier Boy showed up in there.
I forgot who
I was like, God.
It was a random boy that wasn't really.
They were all random. Every one of them were fucking local jobbers. Every one of them. Like, all of them had no chemistry with Dalton Castle. That's why they had that dive spot. That was the single funniest, stupid, bad thing I've seen. But this whole thing was a clusterfuck from A to Z. Like, literally the gimmick made no sense. The
No.
storyline made no sense. He lost custody of his boys. What? Then he kept getting, I guess, drunk or lazy. Like, they didn't really explain it. And then there was just like weird, stupid things. And then he said, I'm going to rise like a phoenix and show off like a peacock. I'm a phoenix. I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought that was hilarious. But
Remember,
I was like, no, I can literally hear the Bucks writing this like genius. I can literally hear them writing that. Go genius. Anyway,
that's
it was. This is the problem I have. So I'm trying not to let my veteranness of being a Ring of Honor fan, but Fights Without Honor, they even kept saying the Fights Without Honor there's only been 15 of them because they're like considered like taboo of a match. Like, ooh, like they're the kind of gimmicks you only pull out of the woodwork. And each of them have basically been like, oh, they're essentially death matches without calling them death matches. Like, I remember one of the last Fights Without Honor, one of the most famous ones was there was a guy who he pulled out a washboard, and it was oh no, there's a part where it was a guy these two guys were fighting. I forgot who was Homicide and I forgot who the other person, and the dude pulls out a freaking cheese grater and like, and it was like, what the it was like, oh, like they would legit go like crazy and like in the middle of the crowd. Like, I remember one guy was like, there was one Fight Without Honor I saw where this one guy had a popcorn bucket. And yeah, popcorn. He's like, you eating this? He's like, no. He flips it out. He puts it on the guy's head, and he has a staple gun. He's like, to the fucking popcorn bucket, and then drop kicks him. And you're like, what? Because that's what a Fight Without Honor is. It's literally mayhem. But they didn't even give us mayhem. They gave us like mild inconvenience.
They gave us multiple boys. They gave us all those boys.
And the
Royal
boys
style.
got to grab Tile Valkyrie and take her to the back for unquestionable things, I'm sure.
Oh my!
It's like it would be like Mark. It would be like you and me having a backstage fight, but we're in an abandoned Fry's Electronics. Like, what the fuck are we gonna use there? Like, it's like, okay, so it's really just a fight, okay? Like, but they kept inserting the comedy elements too much, and it wasn't even good, funny comedy. It was sad. But the dive spots, oh my! If that's gonna be on Botchamania. It has to be. It's gonna be like at the forefront of Botchamania. Just the inability to dive.
Yeah, then
Johnny
just flop, just belly flop.
All of them did. All of them did. They were like, because instead of them going in the ring and then bam, they all went and then the one fat guy was like, and then Johnny was like, it was Johnny TV was just like, what the hell? That was the worst match of the night, hands down. I was just like, oh, this is so bad. It wasn't even funny bad. It was like cringe.
But that last guy
was
was some kind of actor or something. The very last dude that was there that was like,
yeah, it was Paul Walterhausen. He's like in he's a really big wrestling fan. He's been all over the deep indies. Ninja probably knows more about that stuff than me, but apparently he had a feud with Matt Cardona. So I don't know why he's here. Like, I don't get it, but I don't know. I'm like, yeah. And then like, I love how Ian Rickabine's like, he's a huge star. He's won Emmys. I'm like, dude, they give Emmys to Good Morning America. That doesn't make you a big star. Like, they give Emmys to local news. That's not a brag. Anyway, what's your opinion, What's your opinion, Panda?
Hold on, I gotta get my voice together. So earlier you were talking about this match being like the Macho Man and Elizabeth and the whole Hulk Hogan ordeal. Well, I think you got it just a little bit wrong. I'm sorry, this is more like a Super Mario Brothers game, except Dalton is in another castle. Yeah, because his boys were there. Like, all right. If you were just gonna make like Dalton Castle without the boys, just make them without the boys. Just don't add like 5 indie guys who couldn't do a moonsault to save their life, worse yet, jump through a top rope. It looked like oh god, what was that old video game? Remember that game Lemmings? Remember how like they just used to just drop off the cliff? And that last guy just didn't even make it. I was surprised he made it out of the ring. It was just like, oh. And it was just done. This was probably the worst match ever. And it was a no honor match. So, you're thinking it's going to be hardcore, bloody. There's going to be like staples, broken glass where it's needed everywhere. But no, like this could have been like a fight in a current shopping mall. Like there's just nothing around, nothing going on. They just started poking humor at it, which I get it. In that type of situation, that's about all you could do. Like, honestly, what I think they should have done, that should have been an immediate change of character for Dalton Castle. They should have given him some sort of alias, some sort of attitude change, something. But, not put the stunt double boys in there and just screw the whole matchup. Like, that has probably got to be the most action-wise, if it was a serious match, highly regrettable. If it was made for humor, then yes, that was probably the funniest damn match I've seen in a long-ass time. So that's pretty much my views on it. Johnny, what do you got, man?
Okay, my opinion about it. And, honestly, that Tony Khan, oh, God, it's horrible. If he was going to fire the boys, couldn't he have waited till this match ended? Like, at least have this match, because of the continuity, because of storyline-wise, and then after that, okay, whatever you want to do with them, but to fire them before this main, it's just horrible, man. And it's like, I don't think the match wasn't that bad, but the fact that the boys were not there, you get too distracted thinking, okay, where are the boys? And then who are these wannabes? Because these guys, they're not cutting it. They're nowhere near, like how the boys were. Like, they're nowhere near in terms of the gimmick. Obviously, not in their physical form either, because, some of the people are pretty much out of shape. It's just like, I don't know, guys. This really ruined the match, actually, and I don't know what they're gonna do with Dalton Castle going forward. Like, hopefully now this gimmick, because it's not gonna work. But yeah, it's very disappointing, guys. It's kind of sad. Like, the boys are not there. Like, come on, like it's not the same.
Yeah, it's pretty weird though. I don't really know what future.
I felt like it was a bittersweet match. It just felt bad that you have these replacement guys. Oh, these guys are supposed to represent the boys now, but it's like,
Well, that was just for this match. I mean, they'll probably find some others to be the boys or whatever. I think Jack mentioned once that there's like a long history of different people being the boys throughout the whatever. So they'll probably find someone else. This is probably like a last minute thing, and also just, I guess, throw extra comedy in there. So that match, I'm trying to remember. So that match had no weapons or nothing, even though it was a no honor match. It didn't have any kendo sticks or thumbtacks or whatever. Or
Apparently not. Normally there would be, because it's like, yeah, normally there'd be like, so there was thumbtacks at the very end, but like the whole point of a fight without honor is like You can basically act like a wild animal, and then like they didn't even do that.
Mm.
They ironically acted like two scared chickens.
This
And it
match
was just like, man, really?
Yeah. So for
This
that
match was comedic relief. Like it was too comic relief. Like it wasn't. It didn't feel like a serious match at all.
Mm-hmm.
Considering the storyline they had going on with him versus Johnny TV, the match didn't really felt like it went the direction it should have went.
Now the thing is, as you guys say, there's only been about 15 or so fights without, fight without honor in the history and stuff. I'm assuming that's gonna suck if they ever do some kind of like, let's do a Ring of Honor, compilation DVD set or whatever. Like that one's gonna suck compared to all the others, But yeah, so that one we all went for Dawn Castle. Let me check. Yeah, we all went for Dawn Castle, so we all got points, so that's good. So now we're going for the two big matches here. We got Athena defending her Ring of Honor Women's World Championship against Final Boss Hikaru Shida. They're super badass. I'm surprised because that last promo they had, because I'm like, holy crap, Hikaru Shida learned some English and everything. That was kind of cool. And I love her in the suit. I love her overall presentation. And I kind of wish that it's like if Tony Khan is splurging money on all these like songs and stuff like that, he could probably give SNK like $15 or something and play the Keith Howard theme whenever Shida comes in. Like, can you imagine like one of the I think it was King of Fighters 96, one of those versions? Can you imagine like for Hikaru Shida's intro, you see the those sliding doors and you hear the like the doors open and open and open until she comes out and you hear the whole and she's coming up with the actual gi and everything. She could just take it off and have like her wrestling outfit underneath or whatever. But yeah.
Hey, in all due respect, if you remember how Cody used to dress in the black suits in New Japan when he was with the Bullet Club, you can't tell me he did not look like Geese Howard.
Yeah.
Like if they would have done that for him, it would have been totally understandable.
I loved heel Cody. Heel Cody was like top tier douchebag. I love it.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a pretty good match, lots of back and forth and everything. And I was actually rooting for Hikaru to win. When you will kind of go into details with that aspect, but yeah, it was just pretty cool. For me, it kind of feels also with like how many matches she's already had that it's like if someone like Hikaru Shida can't take down Athena, who is finally going to be the one to like dethrone her at this point? You know what I mean? But
well, it ain't going to be Jade Cargill, I can tell you that.
But yeah, it was a pretty good match. It was pretty intense and everything. But yeah, I was really surprised that Athena just still won anyways. I know it was close and all that stuff, but I'm surprised that she retained. So holy crap,
Yeah, though the match was very, very intense. Yeah, you know what? Now that I think about it, Bliss starts in phenomenal. Yeah. But anyway, Athena's match against Hikaru, oh, it was like, I like her presence, like Hikaru's presence. Her English her English seemed a bit better when we saw her, the little threat she was giving her, said, you close your eyes and you see me. I thought that was so nice. She just looked like she should have been in the Yakuza or something. That was so awesome. And that made the match better because they were fighting like they were like really, really, really going for it, like I said. So it's sort of like with the Fletcher match to me. It's on that kind of level with that for me because they really were fighting for that title. It just really felt pay-per-view worthy. Now, here's something I was just thinking about just now that kind of just left my head for a moment. Now, like what you were saying, like I had the same thought process and I was hoping Hikaru Shida would win. I just thought with the way they were kind of building that up, it would have been nice if she would have won. And I think since Ring of Honor actually does focus on stories, my thought process was that if Athena won, And if Athena lost and Starks won, she would have animosity towards her minion having a title and her not having one. So that's why I actually went for Hikaru Shida for this match, mainly because of that. And since Starks won, I said, oh, maybe this means Athena will lose, but they'll let her retain. So to me, it seems like another dead end as a way they can go with the story. Because even when the other match when they had Athena versus Starks and they didn't have Starks beat Athena, I was thinking, well, maybe today on the road they're gonna have her beat her at something. And I thought this would have been a very good opportunity to do that. So that's the only negative I really have about this match. To work in the match was fine to me, but Athena really should have lost, in my opinion. Well, just to make it the story
I will say
interesting.
I will say one little thing that a lot of people never did catch. So Shida was obviously a SNK tribute outfit, but a lot of people don't know that Athena was also in a tribute costume. She was dressed like Nicolas Cage and Mandy. That's why she was covered in red blood and she had a battle axe, like in the movie Mandy. Freaking love that movie. Anyway, I think this match is a perfect example of how you can make two amazing athletes one-on-one, ballistic, with a history, and build off of their history, build a good story. This should be the lightning rod of how to book matches going forward for AEW. The problem is AEW, Ring of Honor has such a rich encapsulating history that you can use. And I mean, Athena has beyond proved that she is, in fact, from A to Z, I don't give a shit what anyone says, the single greatest woman signed by Tony Khan. She is the best wrestler on either roster. She is. She's proven it by every wrestler she's fought. She's proven she is now, I mean, people don't understand her winning this match, put her in she is now the third most defended champion in all of Ring of Honor history. Like as in the entirety of their history, there's only been two people who supersede her, and that is Nigel McGuinness with 53 defenses, and Samoa Joe with 60 defenses of the Ring of Honor World Title. But she is now considered the single greatest woman of honor, as they used to refer to it as. This was probably this, in my opinion, was the best match of the night. This was match of the night, hands down. Granted, I do love the main event from just a fan of, the Briscoes, loving Mark, proving himself. But this match on its own, to answer your question, who do I think could dethrone Athena? Well, they did just open a gateway to Stardom. And there is one woman in Stardom who is the most famous person in Stardom. She is known as the icon of Stardom, and she's the only woman to have not only clean swept every single belt in Stardom, she's the only woman to have been a Stardom and Ring of Honor Women of Honor's champion, and that's Mayu Iwatani. She's the current IWGP World Women's Champion. So, what I would do personally, I would book Athena versus Mayu, winner take all title, and then either give Athena the belt or give Mayu the belt and bring that Ring of Honor World belt around the world. That's what I would do. I mean, she's already beaten everyone on the roster. Like, who else is she going to fight? But the pacing, the storytelling, the writing, the match, it was so good. Like, oh my God, I love this match.
Mm-hmm.
I think I watched it twice. Like, it was such a good match. But match of the night for me. But what do you think? What do you think, Panda?
Oh wait, before Panda goes, I just wanted to add something that Jack just said. I do like the fact that I didn't say. I like the fact they focus on the history between those two, and that's another thing that added to the likability of the match. And I like storytelling, as you guys may have noticed. So I'm always thinking from a storytelling perspective. So I love that, and the fact that they were building it up to that point. And that's the positive of AEW, I mean of Ring of Honor compared to AEW, because like they don't know how to do stories.
Yeah, 'cause I'm watching these random, like, I guess they're just dream matches for the sake of dream matches. And one he's asking me, what's the story? What's the story? And I'm kind of, file not found. More.
No, it's Tony Khan playing in this little toy chest with his little action figures. I like this one and this one. I gotta make a match.
It's the equivalent of Mark. It's the equivalent of Mark. You having multiple TVs, and you're playing Street Fighter over here, and then over here you're playing Fatal Fury, and then over here you're playing Bubble Bobble, and then everyone's like, "Hey, what's going on?" You're like, "Oh, I'm playing Street Fighter Fury Bubble Bobble." You're like, "What?"
Let's put it all together. Okay, sorry, Panda. Yes, please go. I'm sorry about that.
No, the Tony Khan edition of that is like, Williams like, yo, Mark, we need like this. Let's say we're making a game or something. We need like a big crossover. And you got, like you said, Street Fighter, Fatal Fury, Bubble Bobble. I'm like, the answer's obvious. Street Fighter versus Bubble Bobble. Like,
Hey, don't do that because you know I'll draw that up. I'll have it posted by the end of the week, buddy. But no, like, this was a damn good match. Like, this was actually match of the night. Like, honestly, there was decent story in it. Actually, let me take that back. Considering most of AEW's matches, there was a story in it. But yeah, like, Hikaru Shida did come out like a freaking final boss. Like, if they ever do like any expansions or anything on the Yakuza series, they better put her as like a female chairman of like the Tojo clan or something. Cause like she was a straight up boss in that one. And Athena, yeah, Athena is freaking undefeatable. Like there was only one person that could stand in her way at the time that I spoke of. And then she barely could do it, which, well, let's be real, she could barely wrestle. So, yeah, that was a damn good match. And, you know, right up until what Jack said as far as that one star wrestler, they should have this as a constant rivalry. Like, I could see a part 2 going on to this. Like, I could definitely see a part 2 going on to the rivalry right up until that winner-take-all match. But the thing is, they have to keep the story going. They have to keep the story going somehow and keep that rivalry going. Otherwise, it's not going to work. It's just not going to go anywhere. But overall, definitely a good match. I would actually declare that one match of the night.
Same. I know Johnny really liked this match.
Yeah, honestly, this like, in my opinion, this is like the match to watch of this entire pay-per-view. I just love the build-up. I love the Hikaru Shida. Like, she has so much character. And I like how she looks like, you know, with the suit, and she's threatening Athena about that. Oh, you're always dreaming about me beating you up or whatever she said. And that really sold the match. Like, that really is like, oh shit, I gotta watch this match, you know? And, you know, it was so good. It was so a very good match. And you know that Athena is somebody very unstoppable, but I still think just for the fact that Hikaru Shida was making so much like threats against Athena, and Shida looks so confident and you know, she looks so determined that she's really going to win this match. I kind of wish she actually did win the match, you know, because now it looks kind of like, damn, she fell a little short on that one. Like, Athena still beat her up like nothing, you know, like, I don't know. And it would have been good for storyline wise because then if she beats up Athena, then you know how Athena is, she's not gonna give up. She's not gonna like that. You know, she's so winning all the time. Of course she's gonna want to have a rematch against Hikaru Shida. So that would have been, I think that would have been a good storyline if they did it that way. If Hikaru Shida beat up Athena, so that then Athena can, have a rematch with Hikaru and like so forth. Like just make it into this, I don't know, never-ending rivalry. I don't know. It's just a food for thought.
So for this one, Johnny, myself, Panda, and Jack, we all went for Athena, so we all get points. But Jupes and DJF went for Shida instead. Which again, I mean, it was kind of cool. It's kind of surprising though. I'm surprised I didn't go for Shida in that one. But yeah, because like I said, we're getting to the point of like, then who's gonna take her down?
Yeah, but and with that, like I said, that build up, it's just it would have been very good and like it just incorporated everything we were pretty much saying with that, like what Johnny just said, could have lost, she don't want to Elite Athena gonna be mad about it, want to go for that title, and also something like what I was saying, she's gonna be upset and resentful because her minion won a title. But she didn't get to retain hers and, probably mad at pretty much everybody and everybody going to be feeling her wrath on the roster. So, that's what I think. That's what I was kind of thinking they were going to go for.
Yeah. So right now, the last match, the main event we got is Eddie Kingston putting the Ring of Honor World Championship title on the line against Mark Briscoe. And of course, it's like a lot of, what can I say? A lot of like, I guess like nostalgia and all that, like the history of Ring of Honor, history of the Briscoes. I believe that particular day that this took place was, I think it was the 1 year anniversary when Mark Briscoe died in the tragic car accident, which this would have been.
There's a lot of significance to that date. It was literally a year.
April 5th was that day.
Yeah, it was a year to the day. That arena itself has very significance too, because not only was Philadelphia not this necessary arena, but this Philadelphia was where the very first taping of Ring of Honor ever took place. So everyone even makes the joke that Ring of Honor was built off of the shadow of ECW, which it does. It is in its independence, but it's also, that arena itself is actually significant because it's the same building where Jay won his Ring of Honor World Championship. He only held it once, but Mark, however, has never won any singles belt ever in his many, many, many years. He's never won any singles belts. Jay, however, did, but it was like, so it's kind of cool to see that, like, that kind of weird full circle kind of thing. It was cool.
And yeah.
And honestly, if I had known that part of the history at the time I made the prediction, because, just making the predictions, I would have had a different, my prediction would have been a little different there. If I had known that part of it. Because even when I was watching it, even before it started, and then they were going into the history and all that stuff, said, it's too late to change my prediction, isn't it?
Yeah. And the thing is,
That's bittersweet.
it was a big, like, an honor of Jay, but also like a lot of respect and stuff. There was no animosity, lots of respect, and it's the same, you do what you got to do, but I'm also going to do what I'm going to do to defend my title, that kind of thing. So yeah, it's a pretty intense match between the two of them. Mark got busted open, and that somewhere Moxie's like just because like why wasn't he there? That kind of thing. Lots of power slams on the ring and stuff like that. And yeah, it's a pretty intense match. They really fought it out to the very last of their ability. And in the end, Briscoe won. And like a lot of people from the back all came over, I guess his family and stuff and people. I forgot the only one that stood out to me, I think, Christopher Daniels was there, I think, amongst the people, but I kind of
Oh,
don't
yeah.
know what else was.
Yeah, it was what was really, really sweet. So first off, they came out, Mark was wearing Jay's trunks. So that's why Jay's face was on the side of the trunks. And then Mark's as on the opposite side. But they also came out, which that was a fucking shock to me. They came out to the song Give Me Back My Bullets by Leonard Skinner, which was their original theme song. So they actually pulled out their old theme song of the Briscoe's theme song, and I was like, oh shit.
Dude, that was
Yeah, they
something
actually
to
paid Leonard
rocking.
Skinner to,
I was something to rocking out. I would have paid attention.
yeah, it was Give Me Back My Bullets by Leonard Skinner, which is their original theme song. So that was really, really cool to see that. What my biggest fear going into this was, like, it sounds weird, but I don't want them to hand it to Mark. I didn't want them to hand it to Mark. I didn't want it to be a sappy, just here you go. Your bro's dead. Here you go. No, I wanted him to actually earn it. And I think he really did earn in that match. Like, it was so back and forth. I really didn't know if he was going to win, honestly. Because, Kingston has proved himself, and the fact that, oh, hell, he already dropped one belt to Okada. And I was like, please don't have another. Like, damn, is he just going to drop every fucking belt he has? It's like, damn. But I was like, no, it was actually a really, really good back and forth paced match. They both kicked out of each other's finishers. It was like a lot of back and forth and back and forth. That was more of a hardcore match than the stupid Dalton match.
All that dishonor there. No, the only dishonorable thing about that match is that it was a joke.
I loved seeing, so Christopher Daniels came out, the Kingdom, of course. Matt, when earlier in the night, Matt came out wearing Jay's shirt. So he was actually wearing Jay Briscoe's shirt. Matt Taven was, because a lot of people don't know, like him and Jay were like that. I think he was actually one of Jay Briscoe's pallbearers. I think that I heard that somewhere. But yeah, Christopher Daniels was there. Who else was there? Jay Lethal. Seeing Jay Lethal, he came out and he gave him a big giant hug. I was like, oh. And then seeing Jay's kid, and then seeing Mark's kid, and seeing Papa and Mama Briscoe, and I was like, yay! Like, it was all schmaltzy, but it was also, it was happy. It made me happy. I was like, oh. But it was the match itself, though, was fan. I really, really dug it. I thought it was a great way to close out the show. It was a highlight of the show, and if it comes to a point where, like, Mark has to retire, like, this would be a perfect way to retire, unlike Sting. Anyway.
Speaking of that, I said, yeah, when are we gonna cut him off while he's trying to thank everyone for supporting him and his brother and stuff.
Hey, man.
Yeah, right.
Leave Sting alone. Sting had a decent match. It was a fairly good match. Now, he had a good retirement speech. And
but what did you think, Panda?
Okay. Yeah, I have to agree with Jupi Chan. If I would have known the background and the history of that arena, what had gone down as far as Jay Briscoe, I would have definitely changed my decision. And I also gotta agree with you, Jack, because even though, Mark was gonna win that belt, they did not make it easy for him at all. This fight went straight out, balls to the wall. It wasn't a match where they had heat. It wasn't a match where they were grudging against each other. It was literally just a hardcore fight for the belt, which was the way it should have been. They shook hands. They hugged at the end. There was a lot of mutual respect, but God damn, that was a good match. That should have been the no honor match right there. But overall, it was a fantastic match. I enjoyed it. And like you said, if Briscoe were to retire right now, this would be his high note. This would be the match that he could retire on, and everybody would be like, all right, he left a legacy on that one.
This would be his what I refer to as a closing credits moment. Like when you replay someone's biography, it just hit that and like the end. I could see that.
Freeze frame.
Yeah. And then just like fade to black and then like roll the credits. That would have been that moment right there. I was like, oh, it was beautiful.
You know, I was gonna say that this match, it really, really showed what Ring of Honor is all about to me, because they really put that emphasis on the honor part of Ring of Honor. And I thought that was pretty awesome, how they, really did that. But like I said, if I would have known the history of all of this before I saw the pay-per-view, like I said, I would have gone for Mark with this one. But at the same time, even with earlier matches, I was saying, oh, they're letting him wrestle because Jay died now, because Jay passed away. I didn't care much for that. So, now you're giving him attention because his brother is gone. So like I said, so that's why I kind of chose Eddie Kingston for this matchup, because I was thinking kind of like that, they let him do it, but not a pity thing because of his brother. But like I said, knowing the history, I still was kind of mixed. And with the way the match played out, you really didn't know how it was going to go or which direction they were going to go in with it. And I'm kind of glad that it wasn't like, an easy win for Jay, and that not Jay, for Mark, because he just, he actually, like Jack was saying, he really earned that title. He fought hard for that title. Eddie had respect for him, and you saw that, with the, before and after. So yeah, I really did enjoy it. It was bittersweet, a little emotional, especially for those that really were attached to the Briscoes. Me, I really wasn't. But even I was starting to feel, starting to feel some kind of way with all of that. I was like, oh my gosh, it's been a year. I mean, I can't imagine,
Yeah.
So, yeah, so I thought it was pretty cool.
Oh, so about this match, I don't really remember about the match too much, but I did remember that it was a long match because, it was Eddie Kingston we're talking about, it was Mark Briscoe. They were, going on and, doing all of that. But, what pretty much stuck out to me is the ending, if that makes sense. Like, I just like the ending. I like how they pay their respects to Mark Briscoe. He earned the title. And it's nice seeing all the other, cast members from the, Ring of Honor, AEW / whatever, that all the wrestlers were there, paying his respect, to Mark Briscoe. And I like that. I think that that's pretty good. And it speaks good on Ring of Honor as a company as a whole, like they hold to a certain standard, something that I think AEW should start doing. But, it was still a good match for what it was. Personally, I felt like any one of them could have won the match because they're both that good. So for me, it really didn't felt like a loss if Eddie Kingston lost or Mark Briscoe lost. Like it could have gone either ways, but it was so good that Mark Briscoe won the match. He proved that, he can do it. Yeah, that's all I could say, and it must be hard. I mean, to carry on considering that his brother's no longer there with him, and it's something that have happened like not too long ago, for him to still be able to carry on and still be able to, win this match successfully, that speaks volumes, on Mark Briscoe. And it's pretty good. It's a good match. But I feel like beyond the match itself, I feel like the sentimental aspect of the match is what made it the match of the night, in my opinion.
Yeah. So right now, it is interesting as Panda was saying, but Panda actually went for Briscoe. Panda, Jack, and DJF all went for Briscoe. It was Johnny, Jupes, and I that we went for Kingston. So those guys get the points. And I'm not sure we did the whole tally of everyone. Which one? The tally. Now that we're kind of done, did you get the tally of everyone?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
All right, so the loser of this one is moi.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh well. Next time. So the winner of this was DJF with 8 points.
Wow, DJF called it.
Yeah, he bought a lot. And next in line would be Jack with 7. Okay. And then tied, and everyone else, Mark, Johnny, and Panda, you guys were all tied with 6. And I had 5.
Pretty even. Pretty even.
Yeah. But overall, I mean, there were some hits and misses here and there, but overall, it's a pretty good show. Yeah, I enjoyed the matches. I mean, some were unfortunately forgettable, but I know that while watching the actual matches, I was more into them. You know what I mean? But so you know what I mean. But it was a pretty good match. But for me, the matches that stood out to me, of course, was the startup match. The Fletcher match, because I was kind of like, whatever. But then when I actually watched it, like, holy crap, this is pretty intense, you know?
And the thing that's funny about that you actually thought that the starter match, they were to start off with that. And that was something kind of screwed up with that, with the commentators. They said Stardom was going to start up and say, yay, the cool, cute Japanese girl. And then
Fletcher comes out.
And Fletcher come out like, hey, they're that cute Japanese girls.
Yeah, because the guys themselves, the people from the 0 Hour were like, stay tuned, you know, we're going to start these off with the Stardom match. Yeah, I was saying, that was teasing.
As soon as you said that, I just had the visual because of you guys were talking about, like, you know, your glasses and stuff. I was just thinking, like, Mark going, these aren't cute Japanese girls. And takes off his glasses. Okay, now that's better.
Oh, God. I remember that. I was like joking around, like, yeah, bring on the sexy Asian bays and whatever. And then like Fletcher comes out, that's not a sexy Asian bay. What the? or the Asian white movie or something. I said
is if they would have announced that Stardom Girls were coming out, and then they would have had the Dalton Castle match with the fake boys in it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Mark would have been losing it.
Oh God,
that would have been funny.
If they had the Dalton Castle match first, I'm pretty sure everyone would ask for a refund.
Well, I will say this, since DJF is the winner of the match and he's not here to complain, he has to become one of Dalton Castle's new boys. He's the DJF boy.
There you go. Oh man, but yeah, the best matches were the Stardom match for me anyways. The Stardom match. Of course, the Athena match, Billy Starks, I'm still a fan of Billy Starks, and the main event with Briscoe and Kingston. But yeah, it was a pretty good, and of course the Fletcher match. But yeah, it's a pretty good show overall. But like I said, there were a couple of matches that, while they're forgettable now, I was still like into it when they were happening. You know, when I wasn't busy eating pizza or whatever. But yeah, you know, it's a pretty good show. And it's just kind of bad that AEW itself is suffering. Because the thing is, I kind of feel, because due to the storylines and more emphasis, Ring of Honor is actually getting up there. But the thing is, unfortunately, Ring of Honor is Ring of Honor. It's not on TV or nothing. You have to be part of the Honor Club. Most people are still like, what? They got an app, huh? Like the average person or whatever. And yeah, it just kind of bites, man. And like I said, if the worst does happen with AEW down the line, like Jack's predicting that they may not even survive to WrestleMania 50. I just hope they don't take Ring of Honor down with them, which probably will, but you know. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean,
just grab me a river.
I'm only thinking that maybe when they actually start getting more into the red, maybe Tony Khan would finally wake up and do something. Because that's the thing. I don't know. I think part of the problem is that Tony Khan's not really losing money because it's his dad's money anyways. I think that if it was him personally and his bottom line, eventually he would have been like, okay, Young Bucks, you guys are fired. Fuck this shit. You guys are costing me money for the last time. You guys are out or something, you know?
But here's the thing, though, and people are confusing it with dollars and cents of like who has the money, who has all this. The truth of the matter is, part of the game with running a wrestling promotion isn't necessarily how much money you have. It's how much money you are negotiating with. So with Khan, his terrible decisions are not necessarily going to affect his pocketbook. It is, however, going to affect his overall product because no one wants to sponsor him and therefore no one will want to put him on TV. So it's going to be that trickling down as an effect because people do forget they've already lost sponsors before. They lost Cracker Barrel. That was one of their biggest ones.
Really?
I forgot. How?
Remember, they just lost Cracker Barrel because they basically had promised them that they were going to have some sort of implementation to their brand into the show, and then basically they negged on their deal. So then Cracker Barrel took it back. What they mean by representation of just something of oh, blah blah blah, sponsored by Cracker Barrel, sponsored by Cracker. They wouldn't even do that. So because they wouldn't do that, Cracker Barrel fucked off.
But they can slap but they can slap all this Woo Energy nonsense all over the screen. Okay.
Oh yeah. Because they don't want to pay corporations, they want to pay a person. That's why I could totally see Khan selling. He's like, I'm going to sell Ring of Honor's video library so that way I can bring in our new hiree, which is Dean Malenko. He's going to bring in all the seats. We're going to get Dean Malenko. We're going to get Lance Storm. We're going to get Perry Saturn. It's going to bring in all the asses on the seats. Because those are established names, you guys. We're going to have Chris Jericho versus Al Snow in 2025.
I'll give him ideas, guys.
But
ideas.
It's like, it's genius. No.
Who's the special guest referee? Johnny Polo?
What are we...
The Disco Inferno, I finally get a job.
Look, guys. I know. We lost Jay White, but we got Tommy Dreamer. I'm just saying. I'm kidding.
Go back.
I'm kidding. Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah,
anyway, but my point of it is that no, AEW, it's more going to be, its downfall is going to be who is willing to put up with their bullshit. Not necessarily how much money they lose, who is going to put up with their shit. Because people do forget, that is what happened with WCW. The reason WCW went under was because, bad writing, because of this. It was because sponsors and their main sponsor were just like, this isn't worth investing. We're not going to keep you on TV anymore. Bye. And then they said, sell the rights, renew TV contract, sell it. That's what's going to happen. And it's going to be all because Khan can't produce something that people will pay money to see. And the proof is in the TV. I got into an argument the other day with an AEW mark about, they're like, Jack Perry's at some little indie show fighting some Japanese guy. I'm like, that little indie show was New Japan Windy City Riot. That is the highest that is one of the highest grossing in New Japan shows stateside that had nearly 10,000 seats, or had nearly 8,000 seats. For context, AEW has barely been able to sell over 2,000 seats.
That is a lot.
Yeah.
And sometimes you see the empty seats in the arena during some of their shows.
Right. And what's cool is I've noticed little things that Hunter has implemented in WWE. The biggest one he just did, he got rid of the Titantron. There's no more Titantron. There's no giant screen anymore. Now he's basically has it symmetrical where it's like wah, and then that's it. And then the entrance ramp, it's right there. So that way he could fill as much of the arena as possible. And it's added by him doing that. by him doing that, it's added an extra like 7,000, so like 5,000 seats to every arena.
But it's kind of sort of like old WWF entrances too.
It is what they're doing. And then also with pay-per-views, what they're doing is what's called a full sheet screen, which is what Stardom does. So Stardom does like their entrance ramp is here. So there's the ramp and then there's the entrance and then there's just one solid screen like this. But there's still seats and everything around it. So people can sit there. So I'm like, instead of just a giant freaking Titantron and you're like, what's going on? Ooh. Like, I'm like, I kind of dig that. And it's like, I want more asses in seats. I want more people in the show. I want more people because everyone knows you can argue semantics about viewership. You can argue semantics about views. You can argue semantics about subscribers, but you can't argue seat sales. Live attendance is the number one determinant of success in a wrestling venue. If you ain't got asses in seats, it doesn't matter how many views you get online.
Or how many Meltzer ratings you get or whatever. Meltzer 5-star matches or whatever.
Oh, yeah. You mean TM Zeltzer? That's what.
That's the other issue. So it seems like Khan is more concerned about rating as opposed to making a consistently good product.
Yep.
I love what Punk said in that Ariel Helwani interview where he literally said, the Tony is more interested in impressing some 5-star goof than he is, actually putting on a good enough show to get week to week people to tune in. And I'm like, he's not wrong.
I mean, like Eric Bischoff, I think, has pointed that out. Jim Cornette has. Even
Everyone has.
even pointed out the Meltzer thing at some points. So
even Rob Van Dam's high ass pointed that out. Rob Van Dam's high ass pointed that out. He was all like, man, I don't know what they're doing, man, but they just gotta work out the cobwebs. I don't know what's going on over there.
Yeah, the Trump is the non-boss.
yep.
So anyway, just closing statements, guys. Any thoughts on the pay-per-view in general?
Oh,
All right.
No, I was like, all I was gonna say is like, it was kind of like it was a pretty good show. It kind of felt like a candy grab bag. So it was just like kind of like, oh, you got some Snickers, you got some Twix. You also got those weird wax lips that no one likes.
Somebody slipped in
You
a
got
bag
those
of
weird-
raisins.
Yeah, and then no, it's like I got Snickers, I got Sour Patch Kids, I got Twix. They got those weird strawberry Mexican candies that no one ever buys, but somehow are in every bag of everything ever. Yeah. And someone put Werther's Originals in here. But hey, a $5 bill. Awesome. Like it's kind of like it felt like that. I was like, what? So it was a mixed bag. If I was gonna give it out of 5, I'd give it about a 4 out of 5, give or take.
No, it has to be a 4.25 or a 3.75.
It's a 420 out of 5.
What? Your secret safe with me, bruh.
Okay, so personally, I still think it's a very good, decent, entertaining pay-per-view. I also think it's a good bang for your buck because the app, the Ring of Honor, what's it called? The Fight Club? What's it called?
Honor Club.
Honor Club is only like what, $10 per month? Like that's a very cheap, that's a good deal. And then to have the pay-per-view included in that package, that's a real good deal considering that all the other, even some of the most lackluster AEW's pay-per-views aren't there like in the $50 mark-ish?
For all $50, yeah.
Yeah, they're expensive. And then, some of the pay-per-views are not that good. So at least for its money's worth, I still think this is still a very decent pay-per-view. So I think that if you have the opportunity to watch the pay-per-view. I mean, I think it's worth it, and it's only $10. They can't beat that price. Just I don't know, maybe the $10 quality is from that Dalton Castle match, maybe. Not Dalton Castle himself, but the boys wannabes. I call them the wannabes. Because oh my goodness, they need to hire better actors.
I'm sorry.
It's horrible, guys. It's like it's bad enough. I know we're gonna go back to that, but it's bad enough. And Tony Khan just makes bad decisions after bad decisions after bad decisions, and firing the boys in the middle of an ongoing storyline that you know that's going to take place on a very important match in a pay-per-view. It's not acceptable.
On WrestleMania weekend, which means you're already going to have a hard time getting views.
Yeah.
No, that's gotta suck to be fired on WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah. And the thing is, I honestly believe the Tate twins, that's who the boys really were. I'm sure I would love to see them in NXT. I think they would do great in NXT.
Mm.
Now, I would totally respect the decision if the Tate, I think the Tate boys, right? If they themselves decided, hey, you know, we're tired of this gimmick. We want to move on. We want to do something else. Okay, that's totally respectable. That's cool. Okay, you know, we could deal with that. Like, even if they have the boys replacement, okay, we can kind of deal with that because at least we understand behind the scenes that the boys say they want to move on to bigger and better things. But for Tony kind of just fired him like that, and they were still bringing a lot of like, I don't know, viewership to the program. Like how you're just firing them just to fire them. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, it's just a mess. I mean, seriously, that still gets me about this pay-per-view. The fact that the boys were part of the storyline and you fired the boys. That's like firing Shawn Michaels before his match with Undertaker at WrestleMania.
No, it would be more. No. It would be more like Undertaker, Triple H, the Hell in a Cell special guest referee, and then firing Shawn Michaels a week before WrestleMania. That's what it would be like. You're like,
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, like firing Shawn like a week before the match, and we're like, it's just like, and you're a referee, Charles Robertson. You're like, what? Where the fuck is Shawn? What the fuck? That was the whole point of the story. What the fuck?
Yeah.
And the special referee, the Brooklyn Brawler.
Dang, man. No, but seriously, it's just, that's my biggest gripe with this pay-per-view. I mean, there were the other matches, some matches that were kind of lackluster or whatever, but this one just really bugged me because I like Dalton Castle. I like his gimmick with the boys. And with Johnny TV getting custody of the boys and then taunting Dalton Castle because of it, I mean, there was legitimately no point to the match because Dalton doesn't get his boys back. You get a whole bunch of jobber boys. You know, like I said, you had Fat Boy, you had Skinny Boy, you had Luchador Boy, you had, you know, whatever boy. You know, just showing up. It was just.
Also, was there a point other than he's his wife? Was there a point for Taya Valkyrie to be involved?
No, just the ballet, which is kind of weird because, I mean, I guess, but she's a wrestler in her own right. She has no...
Yeah, I'm like, dude, not only is she a wrestler, she's a fucking, essentially like almost an indie Hall of Famer. The girl has the longest running Knockouts Women's Championship of all time, and she's relegated to being valet.
I just like,
use her, bro.
It's like at this point,
the boys kind of sort of did. You know, they carried her off to.
They dragged her off to hell.
But the parts unknown.
Oh gosh! No, I'm just like
they dragged her off to hell. They dragged her off to hell, aka AEW Dark.
Oh, there's like, what's the point of Dalton? I mean, what story can they possibly do with Dalton Castle now because they don't have his boys back unless they're going to start doing something with those jobbers? And like I said, those tape bros, I mean, they want to go. I mean, yeah, maybe they would do okay. You know,
I think I think Dalton should ride off into the sunset at this point.
It's just.
I mean, it's sad, but I think like Dalton would be better relegated to being IRL a trainer. I mean, that's essentially what he is anyway, but like I would rather him just be a trainer, just him off TV. I know he's popular, but it's also like
at this point
they don't know what to do with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I do like his promos though, but yeah. And I like
he's fantastic.
I still want a Dalton action figure.
And I like his ring work. And I want some Dalton merch.
Yeah. What did you think, Panda, of the pay-per-view overall?
Oh, wait a minute. You're asking about the overall of the pay-per-view?
Yeah.
Yeah, so overall, the pay-per-view was pretty good. Like I said, you had a couple of dud matches here and there. But near the end, it was pretty strong. Like the last two matches, the Athena match and the Mark Briscoe match were just incredible by far. I think there should have just been a lot of switch rounds on the card that would have made it much better and just would have ramped it way up to the very end. But overall, it was still a pretty good one. The Dalton Castle thing, they just need to go ahead and change his gimmick because you don't have the boys anymore. So that was literally 90% of his, not even 90, that was like 99.9% of his gimmick right there. So, I mean, otherwise you just have a jobber that by chance can win. So other than that, it was still all around. It was a decent pay-per-view. Couple of forgettables, but I'd probably give it like a B plus.
Yeah, it started off strong.
I know what they could do. They could reunite, or they could have Jay Lethal. They could have Jay Lethal being a good guy, teaming up with Dalton Castle, and they could be called the Lethal Birds.
Well, I still want my Dalton Castle and Danhausen tag team match up there. I mean, I still want that because it would be hilarious.
Boy,
what would they call it? Castlevania?
Yes.
Danhausen.
Castle Cock. Oh, what the like, no. Stop it. No, but I still 100% believe that the show itself is good. The problem is every AEW or Tony Khan production, which sounds like I'm talking about a weird B movie show studio, which really that's what AEW is at this point. Every Tony Khan production is always, it seems like at this point, it's like, are you trying to self-sabotage? Because it seems like every show has an overhanging controversy now at this point. Every show now has become, it would be great if not for the controversy. It would be fantastic if not for the controversy. It's like, man, at this point, isn't like AEW Dynasty up and like no one even knows what the full card is?
Yeah.
And it's next week.
Oh crap!
Which is also my birthday. Yeah.
There we go. Gave you a big old lump of coal.
I'm sorry about your crappy birthday present coming your way.
Anyways, any quick thoughts there, Johnny, on the
He already did.
Oh, you already did? Oh, wow. So I guess we got everyone in, huh?
Everyone already did, yeah.
All right. Well, phrasing. But,
Yeah, we're not that type of channel. You go to OnlyFans for that, and we're not a part of it.
Yeah. But anyways, guys, yeah, wraps up this episode of the Diamond Cutter Wrestling Podcast. And, yeah, Dynasty is coming up next. We'll see what happens there. We'll, of course, do our predictions on that and all that good stuff. So stay tuned for that.
If we can.
Yeah, we can, because they might announce it too late, the matches and stuff. I mean, the main one is just the Samoa Joe versus
Swerve, yeah.
Yeah.
There's another
There's that, and then there's that. There's Danielson versus Ospreay.
Oh yeah,
That's the
yeah,
other
yeah.
match.
Oh wait a minute, and they're
And-
also going to do. Oh, but what's the name is injured now, so
Yeah, it's supposed to be like Anna Jay versus Julia, right? But Anna Jay's injured. or
no,
something?
Julia is,
Oh, Julia's injured. Oh yeah, 'cause you powerbomb her through a table.
and the table sold.
Table sold. But anyways, guys, yeah, we'll wrap it up here. We'll see what's going on and stay tuned for more cool reviews and predictions, all that good stuff. So once again, this is Mark Rodriguez signing off here.
William White, aka Ninja Panda 1980. I'm out of here.
Jack Knives from Jack Knives Reviews signing out.
This is Wendy, also known as Jupi Chan or Ninja Jupi, and we will see you guys later. Dalton Castle, please. I'm sorry, I feel so bad for you, man, and the T-Boys. And I'm going to turn it over to the one, the only, the man with the hour, the man with the power, the man with still that awesome shirt that I want. And there's no way I can fit.
Rodriguez.
Yep, see you next time, guys.